Globally, more than 200 million girls and women alive today have undergone female genital mutilation in 30 countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia where FGM is practiced. Treatment of the health complications of FGM is estimated to cost health systems $1.4 billion per year, a number expected to rise unless urgent action is taken towards its abandonment. Female genital mutilation comprises all procedures that involve partial or total removal of the external female genitalia or other injury to the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. The practice has no health benefits for girls and women and causes severe bleeding and problems urinating, and infection, as well as complications in childbirth and increased risk of newborn deaths. The practice of FGM is recognized internationally as a violation of the human rights of girls and women. It is nearly always carried out by traditional practitioners on minors and is a violation of the rights of children. The practice also violates a person's rights to health, security, and physical integrity, the right to be free from torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment, and the right to life. The World Health Organization strongly urges healthcare providers not to perform FGM and has developed a global strategy and specific materials to support healthcare providers against medicalization. Zach Onwe, an health communications officer at Tug Health Nigeria and also a women and girls' rights advocate, says,
Female genital mutilation is an act that is, bounded in traditional and social norms. It's a process whereby the external or a total it involves a total or partial removal of the external genitalia or other injury to the female genital organ for non-medical purpose. It's embedded in traditional and cultural norms. There are lots and lots of consequences because when we say female genital, like when you define it from the terms that is it partial or total removal of the external genitalia of the female sexual organ or whatever. It's like, like for instance, a girl's clitoris, let me use that word, is cut off, right? It is removed, or the labia majora or minora is removed, right? So when it's removed, you know what happens. Like when a girl clitoris is removed, the clitoris is the sensitive part of the female sexual organ. So when it's removed, it means that female cannot feel anything during sex, because just like the male penis, it is the clitoris that causes, that's the erectile part of the female sex organ. So if it's removed, the woman will not have any urge, will not feel anything. And even if they are having sex, the person doesn't feel anything, just there. So most of the consequences are, difficulties during urination, difficulties during menstruation, pain during childbirth. It can even lead to death, right? So those are some of the major impact or side effects of FGM we have been facing in Nigeria is the lack of implementation of these policies. So for instance, in Nigeria, we have the VAP Act. The VAP Act is one of the policies that speaks to ending violence against women and girls, right? So implementation of these laws are crucial towards ending FGM and also ensuring that awareness and education, because when people say, like, recently I was watching a video and then the lady was like, why we need to do FGM in this part of the world is because when a child is being born and the head of the child touches the clitoris, the child will die. You get. So now these are some of the misconceptions that people have. So how do we change this misconception? By increasing awareness on the negative impacts and then increasing education that some of these things that we say, they are not really what it is. Section 6 of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act criminalizes FGM, right? It makes it clear that anyone who commits an offense of FGM is liable to for a 4 years imprisonment, right, or 200,000 as a fine. It also said that anyone who even supports or like abets it, the person is also supposed to go to jail. So there are already existing laws. Also, Section 34 of the Nigerian Constitution makes it clear that any form of torture or degrading of human rights is also a form of violation of that person's rights.
Onwe disclosed that about 20 million Nigerian women from age 15 to 45 has been caught and undergone FGM.
Nigeria is at number 20, like when you rate like the country with the highest number of mutilated women. But Nigeria has a lot of people when you compare it to other parts of the world, like Somalia, which is number 1, country with the highest number of mutilated women. But when you compare it to the number of those country population and that of Nigeria, find out that Nigeria is at a very high number because of our number, right? So our population, I'll say. So there are lots of support for people who are, gone through any form of violence against women. And the government has made a lot of provision for that. And there are a lot of organizations, Youth of Africa is one of them, and they are doing a lot, so people can always reach out to. 13% of FGM is, according to the National Demographic Health Survey, is carried out by medical professionals. So, and in most cases, how do I put it? So because of that, at some point, people tend to believe that it's right? Because that percentage is done by medical professionals, so people tend to accept it that it's right. But generally, it has no benefit. And Nigeria, there are 5 states that has the highest number of mutilated women, and these states are basically in the south. We have the Osun State, Ekiti State, Imo State, Ebonyi State, and Oyo State. So these states are where these cases are very, very prevalent. So we need to increase awareness and increase education in those areas to ensure that these things end. Then another thing that is currently happening in most of these states is this: they don't cut off the clitoris or anything, but what they do is when they are when they are bathing the child, maybe the grandmother or the mother is bathing the child, what they do is they'll be using their hand, hot water, to be numbing the sensitive part of the vagina. So because of that, it becomes numb. When you use hot water every time you're bathing this child, you're using it happens in a lot of families. They do it and you don't see it as anything.
The Program of Action of the International Conference on Population and Development recognizes that violence against women is a widespread phenomenon. It states, in a number of countries, harmful practices meant to control women's sexuality have led to great suffering. Among them is the practice of female genital cutting, which is a violation of basic rights and a major lifelong risk to women's health. With support from the governments across the world, women are engaging elders, religious leaders, women, men and young people in joint advocacy and improving access to services to end FGM and other forms of gender-based violence. The approach includes community outreach and activities to transform harmful social norms and attitudes.